What's going on, you guys? This is Bridget Kelly, and you are locked into We Talk Weekly.
When I tell you classic.
Shout out to Philly Freeway.
I know, right? Listen, when I tell you
Petey
Crack, gotta give a shout out to Petey Freeway, state property in the building, man. It's your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle
and the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
Now you know it's about that time again, man. And why do I love this segment of the show? Why? Because I get a chance to talk to the beautiful people, the people who's actually doing some things. And this is the reason why we created this show. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk, to give the good old folks a platform to with whom they wouldn't have one, right? And so we allow them to go ahead and say the things that they need to say, and for the people who are consuming this message to get some good old nuggets, right? And so without further ado, because you know I could get on my bandwagon, Sizzle, who do we have today?
So this is a condensed version of his bio, but we have Mr. Terrell J. Brown, a.k.a. Brother Wall Street, in the building, CIO of Loyalty Alliance and CEO of their Sport and Entertainment Marketing Division, overseeing the Alternative Investment and Non-Banking Lending Division, as well as managing their marketing team focused on enhancing athlete and celebrity monetary values. Terrell founded and ran a boutique real estate brokerage firm and a sports marketing company before merging with Loyalty Alliance in 2018. He is a member of the marketing committee of the NYC Turnaround Management Association, TMA, a proud recipient of the 2019 Made Man Foundation Community Leadership Award, and speaks nationally on financial investing and sports topics. He is former chairman of the Drew University NYC Alumni Club and was team MVP and captain of Drew men's basketball team. Welcome to the show, Brother Wall Street.
Brother Wall Street.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, that resume long, right?
Yeah, I had to chop it up a little bit because there was more stuff he's doing. Yes.
Right.
Cool.
Yes.
So, my brother, first of all, welcome to the show. We really appreciate that you're here today.
Thank you. Happy to be here, man. I appreciate y'all having me. We're going to give a lot of food for thought on this Saturday evening. We are not partying. We actually working for our folks. So
Yes.
There you go. And this is why we do it, right?
Yep.
And so let's start from the beginning, man, because you have such a lengthy background as it relates to, financial literacy, right?
Yep.
And even we're going to get into some little sports right now. That's kind of like Lady S. Stott's field right there. So she's going to be excited when we start to talk sports, right? And so let's jump right into what your background as it relates to finance, right? And financial literacy and just, keeping those numbers straight. What got you into numbers, especially as it relates to you being a male of color and going into the numbers? Why specifically the numbers?
Just growing up as a kid, I was just entrepreneurial in general. I always wanted to make money. So I'm from Camden, and what happened, and what we know in urban America back in the day, you see the drug dealers. Most of those guys was the entrepreneurs, but they were really smart dudes. So they would, they was on the corner. They had their cars, they had the girls, they had the chains, and everything else. And I would go to the store for them, and they would give me $1, $2.
We'd be
on the corner. We'd be on the corner, rolling dice and stuff that used to happen. And it's just like what was I doing out late and doing these different things? So ever since then, I've always wanted to, make money. But I realized making money, I wanted to be independent. So I wanted to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And to be able to do that, right, most people in the inner city are hard-headed, I think, in general, right? I'm not listening to my mom or dad. Just like, Mom, okay, great. But you want to do what you want to do and you want to do that. In order to be able to do that, oftentimes you have to have some type of structure, in the business-wise and the corporate culture is really not set up for us, in my opinion. So I said, okay, how could you do that? You need to go ahead and build and kind of create your own wealth to do what you want to do when you want to do it and make your own rules. And so just looking back, I think the numbers, I was kind of good with people, good with numbers just naturally. And then over time, I improved upon that. And then I looked at how I wanted to spend my time, which was do what I want when I want to do it. And that got me more and on the business side.
Right. So that's your transition to jump into the entrepreneurial aspect of it, doing things and understanding that, you want your own financial freedom, right? Now, when you realized that this is what I wanted to do, what was the door that you got in to make that happen?
Yeah. So when I realized, I graduated high school in 2007, and then at that moment I went to Edward Waters. I was ineligible to go play basketball there, so I came back home, and at that moment I knew that I would never be Michael Jordan ever in basketball, but I said I could be Michael Jordan in business.
Ooh,
So I went to
that.
community college, the local community college, and so for a superstar local basketball player to go to community college, people are kind of like, your life is almost over.
Right.
And but I didn't see it that way. I thought this is the new beginning. So I really started to focus on school, and I would watch the movie Wall Street, 1987.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I would watch it, recite the quotes and everything. So I think that's really where the vision. So where I was always a dreamer, and now it's like, oh wow, you can kind of see it. You see the picture painted. I was like, okay, I want to go ahead and work on Wall Street. That's where the money was at. And then at that time, you look at 2007, the streets was essentially dried up. So you don't see people making money in the street. You didn't see them making money in the streets anymore. I was like, how can I really get to Wall Street and make a lot of money? And so I went to Camden County. I graduated. Well, I didn't graduate. I went to spend 2 years there. I left with like a 3.8, 3.9. And I went to a school called Drew University. But I went to Drew because Drew has a Wall Street program. And that's why I went to Drew. And then when I went to Drew, I ended up getting selected in the program. And that's how I ended up start working on Wall Street.
Interesting. Now, I want to go, because we're talking about Wall Street right now. And, as you can see, all of us, we look a certain way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the case in Wall Street as it relates to how we look, right?
Yeah.
So what was that feeling when you finally got to Wall Street and noticed that, hey, it's not a lot of people who look like me there?
Two things. I used to always wear suits when I was a little kid.
Right.
So I used to just do that all the time. People are like, yo, why did this guy always have on suits or whatever?
Right.
But that's just what I felt. I don't know why I did it. That's just how I kind of felt. But growing up, even on Wall Street, and Drew is primarily Caucasian, I never looked at it that way.
Okay.
I just looked at it as, this is my goal, this is my dream, and if I know how to deal with people. So I've met all different types of people, even in the streets. So I feel like a lot of African Americans already kind of preconceived themselves and saying, they put this stigma saying, oh, okay, I'm African American. They have this certain culture and things. I say, I'm going to go ahead and deal with the people that I like here, and that I'm going to go network for an opportunity even today. And I think I just have extreme confidence. I believe in myself, and I never cared about what people think about me. Like even to this day, even doing other business, or if I'm trying to connect, I don't worry about what I look like to someone. And that allows me to grow and develop. And so oftentimes, as I even speak with other people, like even other brothers and sisters, they, have that question. And I say, what are some of the things? I think first is say, get out of your own head, right? So we're taught differently, and I say it's a lot of twisted logic in inner city. If you go there, you need to reprogram yourself. So for example, like tonight we here, right? We learn and we build and we growing, but somebody's out in a club spending their last, but they're gonna say that they're lit. Like, you're not lit, you're not cool. There's nothing cool about that. You're gonna go home broke. You're not developing, you're not building. So that's what I mean by a lot of those things. It's the twisted logic that we're taught, and some of the music plays a big piece into that. But once you get out of that, you should reprogram yourself and think about necessarily what is important to my development. And of course, on Wall Street and most other industries, it's a lot of stuff is undergirded by racism, but it's not the full piece. So now you got to say, how can I develop the necessary skills? Where can I go to develop the necessary skills and relationships, and then go about it building there that way?
Interesting. So I just want to back up a little bit because I feel, you touched on a few different things in one.
Oh, but
Go
hold on,
ahead.
I mean, stop. But then I think it's too. I just got like it's the ball player in me.
Right.
It's just like you don't kind of. I think just when you got swag, you don't really care. Like whatever, man. You just kind of the cocky attitude. You think that you're already smarter. That's one thing. You think you know everything, but you think you're already smarter than most people. You just looking for that opportunity.
Right.
So it's like when you get your opportunity, just make the most of it. And being I had some relationships at the school that I went to too. That's why I went there. And I was a good basketball player. I did well in school. So you able to connect with other people on Wall Street. So you see how they performing, and it gives you that confidence. It's like, okay, well, I'm like in school. I know I'm outperforming you guys in the classroom on the court. So I'm outperforming you. I know that I'm smarter than you. So this is, if I don't have a job, it's not because of me, not because of talent at all.
Right. So I'm gonna back up real quick because I feel it necessarily to talk about the programming piece.
Okay.
Right, and how we are programmed as it relates to thinking or these preconceived notions about Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
As it relates to us of color, right?
Oh, both of them are real.
Yeah.
So
But I want you to touch on that because
Okay.
I don't want to give this false narrative that it's all peaches and cream, especially a person of color going in there thinking that they can handle that. So I want you to just touch on that a little bit.
So in general, in corporate America, especially Wall Street too, in corporate America and on Wall Street, it's about power and it's about control.
Right.
So whenever there's a lot of money, and in general, and most people they don't know about Wall Street, they haven't had access there, and it's not the norm for them to get there. So I think if someone's looking to go on Wall Street or do something big outside of sports and entertainment at a high level and on the corporate side, you're going to experience pushback because establishment is primarily Caucasian, and they have the power and the control. And we don't grow up going to the country clubs. We don't grow up on the golf courses and these different things. We grow up, whatever, our clubs and different things are different. So it's a cultural difference with the people in power. So now, but if you look at the other successful African Americans that grew up or doing those exact things, most of them are successful on Wall Street as well. Okay. And it's how people spend their time, how we spend our time, how we like to have fun. It's just a cultural difference, number one. So the things that they do, things that we do. So it's hard to kind of build a relationship with somebody if you're not really hanging out outside of work. You can have a working relationship, but like a friendship. And that's where they do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And if you're making billions of dollars and things are already, it's American, it's still America, the land of opportunity, but it's still racist as well. So if I'm making billions of dollars, people just don't want to let other people into that pie. They don't want to share their secrets. So in order for me, they believe to keep what I have to go ahead and kind of not let everybody else know what's going on. And our people just never really broke into that field and looked at it as a field to go really break in to and as an opportunity, right? Because it's most of the people in the business is Caucasian. So if you don't have a relationship to somebody there, you're going to say, man, it's too hard. But it should be if it's not a lifetime goal for you or something like that, you might as well not pursue it because you have to work. And the people around. So I'd say here I'll talk a little bit more in depth on it. Most people of color, they end up leaving Wall Street after a few years because I don't think it's cultural, just in general. As I said before, hanging out with the people with they may mainly Caucasians, they drink beer, for example. Right. African Americans drink liquor. Right, if they do drink, they may drink hard. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna drink Henny, you're gonna drink Remy or whatever, and then maybe some other people want to drink champagne, and then the other, white folks, they might drink Jack Daniels or something else. Yeah, Scotch. Yeah. But so that's really a cultural thing. Right. But now the people that do those same exact things, they're able to build a bond. They go to the same type of club. The music that we listen to often is different. But if both of them listening to whether rap music or country music, whatever it is, you're able to build a bond with somebody. So that's figuring out how can you build a bond with them, or if your kids go to the same schools, something outside of work where you can build that relationship that you have in common. So once you build that common thread, you're able to build that. But if you look at it throughout the entire industry, totally different. Right. White folks go hunting, they hunt deer and everything else. Black folks don't really do that. Right. But not to say that whether that's corny or not corny. Like back in the day, we used to chill on the corners all the time for hours. Yeah. And now somebody from the suburbs, they would come and say, that's weird. Why they sitting there wasting their time every day on there? And then somebody from the hood to see somebody from suburbs, they would do something and be learning and would say, yo, they corny. Yeah. And I've just had the experience to be able to live in both worlds. So I say, you don't understand this person, so you say they different. You don't understand them, so you say they're corny. But you don't understand. So now I say, hanging out on the corner all the time, what we do, we just laugh and go to house parties was like the thing. But now it's like, you wasted all that time doing what? Like, that's weird to me. Meaning that's what the person from the suburbs, and understandably. Right. So I just think it's, once you figure out the cultural thing, and then if you really go back to with racism, and then with money and power, it's an industry that people, we have to learn about. It's not taught in the environments. It's something most people don't know about, and we just have to figure out how to get more people of color in there. So we have all these diversity programs, MWBEs across the nation. And for the most part, they're a joke. And I'm dealing with them all the time. And what happens is they put this because it's sexy to say you're diverse because you don't want no backlash. That's the in thing right now. That's the new thing. So you don't want no backlash. But if you see on a diversity, if you look at the numbers there, they don't have more people in power that's diverse in there. And you look at diversity as, you're the CEO of a business, and this is a failing line of business. So now, if this business is failing, it's your responsibility as the CEO, not the diversity person, right? They're just there, but your job to make this profitable. But oftentimes, the diversity person don't have the tools nor the resources, and they don't even put the right diversity people in there. So I'll give an example about Facebook. They have Sheryl Sandberg there. She's Caucasian and Jewish. She knows nothing about diversity. She knows nothing about diversity. JP Morgan, the same exact thing. They know nothing about diversity. But however, Zuckerberg's not going to have someone that don't know about Instagram over the head of Instagram. Right. So why are you going to have this over diversity? That means they don't take you seriously, putting a Band-Aid on the issue. And that's part of this systemic thing in America. It's a bigger issue.
I get it. Interesting. You want to say something?
So if you think about the history of Black Wall Street, how can we get the Black community thinking in terms of, when Black Wall Street started, and how do we recreate that?
That's a great question. By the way, first it was there and it's in existence in different places. It was bombed, of course, and how it's already created in some areas. So if you go to Southeast Queens, it's primarily Caribbean, but all of color, and they have the highest income per capita of people of color, and even outside of other people in the whole entire world. So there's a lot, and then we as a culture and as a people, African Americans would be the 9th largest country in terms of spending power, over $1 trillion. So now it's our job to really pull those resources together. I think even starting, like if you look even in the inner cities, all these corner stores, I live in New York, but even when I come back to Camden, I see Philly, every store, there's a corner store, a bodega here, a liquor store, a nail salon somewhere. But those people don't live in the community, and a Crown Fry, and they look down on the community. By the way, so you spending all of this money with people that don't even like you, and taking that money out to go send their kids to private school. And we talk about blacks not supporting other blacks. I said, if you supported another, and all those stores, by the way, I guarantee everybody, those corner stores, each one of them are millionaires, just the supplies alone. So if you support other black businesses the way that you support them, and your family have supported the liquor store, the cigarettes for years, you would create all these millionaires in the community. And their job, even these corner stores, they should be giving back. They've never donated to a Little League. They've never sponsored a Little League.
Absolutely.
They've never given any of these things. And I said, so
Absolutely.
why are we attacking black? When we start supporting black businesses the way that we support these corner stores and liquor stores, then you can say we don't support each other enough. But I would say the ones that are the businesses and the organizations, whether it's like the urban leagues, other organizations, people of color should, with the resources that they already have, come together and create the businesses, right? Create whatever those corner stores, stop supporting them if they're not supporting us, and then have those go into those same business industries with the service products and services that we're already buying, and just keep it from there.
Mm-hmm. I just want to touch on that right now because, I had a few other questions that I wanted to ask you, but I think that's very important because, they talk a little bit about, the black dollar and how long it circulates within the community. And I believe it's like 6 hours or something like that. And everybody else circulates from like weeks and days and things of that nature. But specifically the black dollar, it's like 6 hours. How can and the Sizzle kind of referenced it, but how can we change that narrative? How can we say, what, our product, our ice is just as cold, pretty much.
I would literally, I would do nothing different, just copy the blueprint. They already did it. So the blueprint is laid out, the foundation. I don't need to do anything different. I would copy that same exact model that they did, but modernize it to today. All they did was bought and sold from each other. So if you're not within our network, we're not buying product from you. You're not selling. We're not buying or selling with you. And most of these companies would go out of business, and then we would create them. So that's all you have to do. You start buying collectively with each other. I can guarantee you within 6 months, most of them be knocking on your door trying to work out solutions. How can we create partnerships? And with the digital age, it's just a lot easier to be able to do so, right? Because you can connect with the other countries of color and do the same exact thing.
Given what you know now and, from when you started with basketball, what would you have done differently looking back?
Oh, man, I would have done so many things differently. One, I would have been selling SIM cards back in the day. I would have took education a lot more serious. I would have focused on education. I would have invested in stocks. I would have known about the stock market. I would have made a fortune. So between stocks, SIM cards, I remember the chirp phones. I would have made with chirp phones, SIM cards. I would have been selling water ices. Just so many different things that I know now, and then even different products and stuff like that was available. Things that we get at a higher margin, other people get cheaper. Even the stuff, the hairs, and these lashes and all type of things. I would have probably almost kind of like been an entrepreneur, like created something like maybe Amazon, but with different products, high margin products that we buy all the time, but that we get at a higher price. I would have just, since I have the relationships, I can get them at cheaper prices and know the right people. And then really focused on being a better leader and a better person. So there was a lot of good people that I think I had enough influence and I could have steered in a different direction. But, you do things that you just think is funny when you're younger. Like, this is just funny.
We all go.
And it's just like, okay, I would have actually tried to uplift people in a better sense and say, hey, man, listen, that's really not cool. Or let's do this and bring people in more and try to help guide them in the right direction and build a better team.
Yeah, I think we all have these things where we look back and there's some things that we would do differently, right? Quick question, because that time is flying.
Okay.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you what would be one of the, I guess, a business tip, right? A financial kind of literacy, as it relates to like our community. What would be something that you would, say as a tip for people to understand and say, you know what, I'm going to start thinking differently and start to build either my community or myself or my financial, status.
I would say one, read and buy the book, Think and Grow Rich. That's going to change your mentality, and read it every day. 2, understand the financial system, the Western financial system, and how it works. Because once you understand the system, how it works, and that's credit and debt. We live in credit and debt society, and understand credit and debt. Financial literacy is going to come all based on that. How to use it, what's good debt and bad debt, how to use that for your benefit. And then, because we all talk about creating generational wealth and multiple income streams, credit and debt, and understanding financial, how finance in general and how it's structured, how it works, will allow you to really truly create generational wealth. And this digital age, you can almost do anything and get to anybody globally.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say, which I'm excited about, especially as it relates to like our people, our folks, our community, is that I'm seeing a huge influx of the entrepreneurism and people kind of setting their own paths as it relates to how they are going to, sustain their own well-being. So I like that idea. I want to jump into real quick investments, because that's something that we don't necessarily or traditionally have a background in, right? What in stocks?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
What is there something that we need to look for or educate ourselves as it relates to investments and or stocks to get into that market?
Yeah, one is, of course, you got to educate yourself. I spent years and years perfecting the craft. But one, you should understand accounting. So you understand stocks. Stocks are just businesses. People look at stocks as a market. It's just a business. You want to understand that business and look at the stock. If you want to really, truly create wealth, it's the greatest wealth creator in the history of mankind. So the New York Stock Exchange has 13,000 businesses alone. So you can become a part owner in any of those businesses. But if it's a private company, you can't invest in that private company. So Apple, Google, Facebook, Bank of America, JP Morgan, all these companies that's doing well, you can become a part owner, but you need to understand that business. So educate yourself and understand these different businesses, and then become a part owner, share in the growth of those companies.
So where can somebody go to know about that?
YouTube and Google.
Okay.
They are your
My best
listen.
friend.
Those are your best friends, BFFs. You should understand. Okay, because understand accountant, which is accountant, financial statements, income statement, balance sheet, as well as a cash flow statement. Because no businesses only make money two ways: increase sales, reduce costs. That's it. Revenue, sales, net income. It's really not difficult. They don't break it down that way, but that's it. And then now you can understand from there, how much what that net income, how much you own of that net income. And so accountant is the basics. It's the building blocks. Accountants are born, but not those fundamentals. So you really need to understand that to understand the business. And once you understand that business, understand the industry, understand the markets, and there's a few other caveats that you'll learn and grow as time go on. And then you want to buy that business, which they call in our business, at a margin of safety. You want to get it at a discount. So if it's worth $1, you want to probably get it at 50 cents. So just give yourself a margin of safety and then diversify that risk, meaning that you don't want, if you got $10, you probably want to make 10 investments worth $1 rather than making one investment for $10.
Interesting.
So that's where I would start. Understand accounting. You can do that all online. It's free. And then watch great investors. You should go look at Warren Buffett. He's the Michael Jordan of investing. All of his information is public, so you can go right to his website, see all of his investments, see his philosophy, and you can educate yourself. And it's just an interesting reading. And then from there, you'll really know. Follow people. Right. Just look at the Forbes list. Follow people with the money. Don't listen to people that don't have money.
That's right. I always say, how can somebody who's broke tell you how to get rich? I always say that. You can't, because I'm in image, right? You can't tell anyone who does nothing or have nothing to do with fashion tell you how to get into fashion. Can't do it. Right. So real quick, is there some stocks or anything that we should look at? I mean, everybody always asks that. We got like 30 seconds. What would be like your top 3 that you think that, especially somebody on a low level can jump in or feel like that would be something to look at? You said the Googles and
no. I cannot give any investment advice, by the way. Right. But you should look at Warren Buffett. All of his stock. Look at he's the greatest investor of all time. Okay. He's worth about $70 billion. His companies a lot of companies that he owns are publicly traded. Follow the richest guy, see what he's doing, and you would get a lot of great
There you go.
ideas.
Follow Rich's guy, see what he's doing, and do exactly what he's doing. Emulate success.
Yeah,
Success.
I'm not
There you
saying
go.
do exactly what he's doing because
Got you.
you gotta maybe put your twist on it. Some of the stuff what he's doing, you may not understand it,
no doubt.
and you may be buying it at the wrong time. So if he bought it at 10 and you're buying it at 100 and it's maxed out,
Yeah.
right? So that's what I would say. Spend this really the next year or so just educating yourself and being committed.
How can I get in contact with you? All your social media, all that good old stuff.
Before I was private, but y'all can get in contact with me. I am social now. I'm gonna become the most digital person. Y'all heard it here at We Talk Weekly
That's
first.
right.
So
Yes.
y'all, it's just everything. Terrell J Brown on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the social platforms, and I'm even thinking about getting a TikTok.
There you go. Somebody's been doing this research, right?
Yes.
Finding out what works and emulate. All
Facts.
right. That's like marketing 101
Yeah.
right there. No
Yep.
doubt, no doubt. Well, I really appreciate you coming to the show. And what would be one last, nugget that you can give? You got about 10 seconds. What would be a quick little nugget that you can give out to, the people?
I want all of us to stay in touch. I want y'all to reach out to these people here at We Talk Weekly because they're doing a great job. I want everybody to come together and organize and really start buying and purchasing from each other so you can create the own millionaires in the community because people are doing it and it is possible right here. And be dedicated. Make a lifetime commitment to do so. Just the way that you're spending time doing these other things, right? And come with a positive attitude, the willingness to help and play your position. Oh yeah, two other things: know your role, play your role, and build a team.
All right, no doubt.
Awesome.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want you guys to go anywhere. This your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
and the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And you're listening to WPPM LP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. And this is We Talk Weekly's After the Talk. And as you already know, it is 9 o'clock and we already got to do the drive. I want you to have fun. Go out to your club, get ready to party, have a good old time because guess what we going to do? We going to have a good old time too. This your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And our guest for the day.
Terrell J Brown.
I won't call you beautiful unless you want to. That's how you identify.
Leave that up to the ladies, brother.
No doubt. There we go. Well, we out here, y'all. We be right back, yo. We out here like last year.
Affirmative, that's right. DJ No Frills, I'm on my 1-2. Some do it for show, but I do it for sure. Let it play.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Lauren Sizzle.
And Classy Lady Sparkle.
And have you subscribed to our channel yet?
If the answer is no, you need to subscribe now.
Yeah, so stop what you're doing. Go right now and subscribe. We like you. You like us. So go ahead and subscribe.
Come on over. Be a part of the family of We Talk Weekly and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
So what are you waiting for? Subscribe.
Now.